Sign up for my free daily newsletter, The Current, at getkim.com.
April Fools.
Tomorrow. That's tomorrow. So if you did a prank today, it would just be cruel. It would have nothing to do with the holidays.
But I have a trivia question.
Okay.
Back in 2004, Google announced a product on April Fool's Day.
Okay.
Everybody thought it was a prank, but it turns out that it wasn't. Was it Google Maps? Was it Gmail, Google Earth, or Google Translate? Which one do you
Translate.
think
I'll go
it
with
is?
Google Translate.
You're going to go with Google Translate. Are
Yeah.
you sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, because in the bigger grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Even if I have it wrong, you're just going to tell me the right answer. Also, don't care.
What do you mean you don't care?
I don't care.
This is something that you can use as a fun fact.
Oh, you look how much fun we're already having.
You could use this to impress a date.
I don't need to impress any dates.
Gmail.
Gmail. Everybody
Yep.
laughed at Gmail?
Yeah, because it came out and they said you have 1 gig of free space. And they're like, oh, nobody'd ever give us 1 gig of free space.
Oh, okay. There's a little twist there.
Yeah, they said it was outrageous to have that amount of space. Why would you even need 1 gig? That was really it.
Didn't we used to have a soundbite from you when you were doing your infomercials? Or no, I think it was from the early on radio show. And you were like doing commercials for AOL. And you're like, it comes with 256
Oh, no, that
KB.
was the infomercial.
Was that the infomercial?
Yeah, that was the infomercial.
Kilobytes of space. And you'll never need more space than that.
Okay.
What?
Okay. That's all you needed at the time.
I'm not insulting you.
You know,
This is a walk down memory lane.
It's like Bill Gates. He said you only need 640K in memory.
Exactly.
Okay. That's what we used to say.
I used to have a, what was it called? What were they called? The things that used to play, we put music on.
An MP3 player?
Thank you. I used to have an MP3 player that I would put talk shows on every single day. I downloaded like 4 different talk shows and I would listen to them all. And I'd load it every single day. And I remember the day I went and I got a 256 KB extension. And I paid over $150 for it.
But you were like,
Oh, yeah.
whoa.
I was saving up.
This is something.
I was like, I'm going to be able to keep like 4 or 5 whole shows on here. This is going to be amazing.
I'll never forget when I got a phone call from somebody and they wanted to know if email was that you got your mail or on electricity.
What does that even mean?
Wait, versus with Gmail, you got your email because you're on a generator. And I said, I'm like, are you a moron?
But I remember the first day that I call screened for you. I mean, we just didn't know things. And the caller called in and they had a question about their Wi-Fi. And I typed it out, WHY space
Oh, you did. I forgot about
FI.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. I forgot about that. That was a good one.
That was my first day, and you just ripped me to shreds on the air. You're like, how can I have someone back there answering my phones that doesn't even know what Wi-Fi is?
Wi-Fi.
I didn't. Wi-Fi. Why not?
See, that's why we're here.
Exactly.
To make sure that the world is educated.
Absolutely.
And they are tech ahead
Mm-hmm.
and never left tech behind because, after all, they get the current newsletter, which is phenomenal. It is the best newsletter in the entire United States.
Oh, you're staying within the boundaries of this country.
Just for today.
Okay, is there one in like Uzbekistan that's better than the current newsletter?
No, but I have people asking me, when are you going to come out with a UK version, an Australian version?
Just translate it. I mean, that's your next step. Translate it into Spanish. Easy
Yeah,
peasy.
I can do that. I can do that.
That's how Mr. Beast makes all his money. He does one thing, and then he translates it in 50 different languages, and he gets 50 different audiences.
I'll do that today. Okay.
All right, I didn't mean to put that kind of pressure on you.
I have like this much free time today.
Okay, get it done.
I can do it because, after all, over 650,000
Wow.
people get it every single day. That's a lot of people.
It
It's a
is.
lot of pressure for me.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because
You
I
like the pressure, though.
I don't know.
Are you changing?
No.
Yeah, okay.
What else would I be doing?
Right, exactly.
You know
If
what
you
I
didn't
mean?
have that, if it was only 84 people, you'd be like, well, he'll send. Who cares?
Here's a tip for you.
It's only 80 people.
You know what? I'm so guilty of that.
What?
Like Channel 3 will call me and say, "Do you want to come on?" I'm like, "No, I've got
Not a big enough audience? Wow.
What's true?
You are such a prima donna.
How many people watch Channel 3?
90,000 maybe? I don't know.
No, get out of here.
That's just a guess. You think it's bigger than that?
I think it's tiny.
MSNBC's got an audience of like 54,000, and that's a cable channel that goes coast to coast.
Channel 3, and you say 90,000?
I'm guessing they're not even a network.
I know, so why would you say 90,000?
You think it's much lower than that?
I think it's tiny. I think it's like, yes.
It's 4 million people in the valley.
Yeah, but
Now I got to find this out. Right now, people listening, watching, they don't care. These are not fun facts for anyone listening or watching.
Okay, well, let's switch gears then.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's move on. Okay, so Get the Current. Go over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. Sign up for The Current. You're gonna love it. And if you don't, I don't know why, we have a 98% approval rating.
And it's money back guarantee. Every dollar you spend to get The Current, if you don't like it, you get it right back.
Exactly.
100% of it.
It is. And now, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
No, because we're on YouTube. You're watching us on YouTube right now. YouTube.com/Kim Commando. It's where we have The Current podcast every single Monday and the Kim Commando radio show on Friday and all the clips and everything we post. But if you're like, I didn't know you guys did all that, well, that's your fault. Why didn't you subscribe? Just click on the subscribe button.
Then you'll love it.
Absolutely. You'll get the bell, the notification every single time we pop something up new. And then you can like, comment, and share. It helps the algorithm, gets our faces in other people's faces. And that's what we want. A lot of face-to-face stuff on YouTube.
You know, some of these shorts and reels have like 3-4 million views.
I know. It's awesome.
It is. All right. Let's talk about some things that you need to know to always.
Missing out on a show that everyone's talking about is not an option for me. I'm constantly signing up for this streaming service or that one, and then months later, I realize I'm still paying for the service. You know when you sign up for something, forget about it until after the trial period ends, and then you're charged month after month? Getting Rocket Money was a game changer for me. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. They have over 5 million users and have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Kim today. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. Rocketmoney.com/Kim. Check it out right now. Rocketmoney.com/Kim.
Be tech ahead.
Absolutely.
Okay. Chat GPT versus Google.
Okay. In what aspect?
That Google's stock is 25% less now than its all-time high because of ChatGPT.
Okay.
And I don't want to mean to say like I told you so, but I told you so that
now,
Google's dead.
Isn't this also, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not trying to make the argument that you're wrong about Google being dead. But isn't that also because they're going to split up Google into multiple different companies?
No.
No.
We're not talking about that right now. We're just talking about how they're performing.
Correct. I'm just saying their stock price.
No, this analyst, Melanus Research,
Okay.
they came out and said this past week that Google is the new Kodak.
Ouch. That's awful.
Yes, Google is the new Kodak.
You don't want to be the new Blockbuster Video or the new Kodak
No.
or the new GoPro. Is that too personal?
I love GoPro.
I know you do. So much so you bought it so much stock in it.
I think there's a potential for that. Do you know they have a GoPro attachment?
No, nobody knows this, but go ahead and inform us.
No.
Only major stockholders know about this new GoPro attachment.
Okay. I saw this and I thought to myself, they need my help.
Okay. What is it?
Okay. You're holding your baby
Okay.
and you want to capture the baby's expression.
Sure.
And the baby's just so adorable. You don't want to miss the shot. So you have a GoPro camera.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a joke. There's a mouth attachment, like a hockey mouth attachment. And you put the GoPro on the mouth attachment. So you could have the GoPro in your mouth and capture videos of your kid.
What in the world? Wait a minute. Now, if you translate that to sports, maybe, right? It makes sense. You could hold your camera
In your mouth?
I'm just saying maybe. I didn't say 100%.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
But then you're like, well, how do we get women to buy it? You know how you're always wearing a mouth guard when you're taking care of your children? Now just strap a camera in that puppy.
I saw that on their website. I was like, oh my God.
You see a mom in the living room put her mouthpiece in. Oh, she must be taking Timmy to soccer.
Oh God. Oh,
That's
gosh.
embarrassing.
Yes, it is.
Is that official GoPro product?
Yes, it's on their website.
Oh, it's not like some guy who has
No,
a
no,
3D
no,
printer in
no.
his basement in Indiana.
It's on their website.
Ouch.
And it's not a mom. They show a guy who's holding up his kid with the GoPro attached.
Yeah, because they know women aren't that stupid.
No, he's gonna do it. Speaking about stupid, Ford. This is moronic. Ford thinks that people want to manually shift their EVs.
Okay.
So your
Wait a
electronic.
minute, hold on. You're a car person.
Yes,
Do you like a manual transmission?
I do.
I mean, there's a lot. I don't. I like to do other things when I'm driving, like sleeping or other things. And so I don't like a manual transmission. But there's a lot of car people who do. They want to be able to shift the gears and do all the foot pedals and everything. So why is this a stupid thing? I don't get it.
Because the EV doesn't have gears.
Oh. So is it like faux?
Kind of.
It's like pretend?
Yes.
Okay.
But the EV doesn't make any sounds.
No, so it's like. Wait, listen.
I'm going into a higher gear
Did you hear
now.
that? I'm in fifth now.
Oh my God.
If you're listening to the podcast, you should be hearing silence right now
Yes, that's
because we're not making any noise.
Exactly, because EVs don't make noise.
No.
That's why they have to give it sounds for when you back up or when you're around,
Right.
so that this way they're not going to run into you.
Isn't some of the Teslas they have speakers that make the car sound like it's a car?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, you can
because
do
there's
that.
no sounds because it's just.
So yes. By the way, little fun fact: only 18% of all Americans know how to drive a manual transmission.
I know.
Can't catch a break.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Double O Heaven.
Huh?
Amazon has picked Amy Pascal from Spider-Man and David Heyman, who's behind Harry Potter, to produce the next James Bond film.
Finally.
Yes.
But we still don't have a new Bond yet, right?
No, I was thinking about becoming a Bond girl, but I'm just so busy.
That's true.
So busy.
Yeah, and they always have great names like Savannah Christmas or Pussy Galore.
You know what? I love when James Bond said, and she said, "What's your name?"
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Pussy Galore." And he said, James Bond said something like, "I think I'm in heaven."
See, you need yourself a Bond girl name.
Yes.
Should we ask ChatGPT
Yes.
to give you a? Okay, hold on one second. You do your thing. I'll look it up.
Okay. Scientists are on the verge of growing spare human bodies for medicine.
Yeah, I saw this. This is weird.
Yes, they say it's going to be done with stem cells, artificial wombs. It could help with organ shortages and testing new drugs. They're called bodyoids.
They're brainless, and they have no feeling. They're just going to grow organs. So is that technically a human?
I don't know. It seems pretty weird.
Do you want the answer?
Yeah.
So it says if Kim Commander were a Bond girl, her name would be something clever, tech related, since she's all about digital and cybersecurity, and a little playful. Cyber Chase.
Cyber Chase?
Yeah. Another option could be Digitally.
Hi, I'm Digitally.
I think I need to go to DeepSeek because that's the answers that ChatGPT is giving me. Digitally.
Digitally. Finally, this nearsightedness in kids is exploding because of screens.
Oh, yeah, of course. We all
Yeah.
knew this was coming.
Yeah. But I thought this was interesting. In a study, kids were placed in a classroom, not like a traditional classroom, where you'd have blackboards and letters and numbers and things like that. They took all that down and they covered it with wallpapered trees.
Okay.
And then they had like a sky-like ceiling.
Okay.
And what they found is that the kids' vision declined less because there were trees in the room. Isn't that something?
That's weird that they would even hypothesize that that could actually have a difference. Looking at trees, even if they're fake or wallpaper, affects your vision.
So time to take the kids outside.
All right, sounds good.
Speaking of DeepSeek.
Is that my cue?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know we were starting with that one. DeepSeek is past.
Would you like to start with something else?
I was going to, but
No, go ahead. No, start with something else. Then.
No, it's fine.
No, I don't want you to feel pressured.
I'm not pressured. I just like the other story a lot more.
Okay, then do the other story.
So now you're going to get the DeepSeek story, which I kind of like, but it's not going to be as good as the other one, which I had so much emotion and passion
okay.
for.
Do that one. God, I feel like I'm at home.
All right.
Drama-rama.
Samsung has a new line of products, Bespoke AI.
Bespoke AI.
Okay, and here's the scenario that they paint for you. You're loading your washer dryer with clothes, and all of a sudden, there's someone at the door, and your doorbell camera goes off.
Yes.
And your phone's nowhere to be found. What do you do?
Stop with the washer and dryer.
Right.
And maybe look out the window.
Okay. We don't have to now.
Excellent.
With the new Bespoke AI line of products, your doorbell camera is now hooked up to the 7-inch digital screen on your washer.
Oh my gosh.
So you can see who's outside right there while you're loading your your laundry.
Whew, wow.
Also, if your phone rings and it's not near you, you can answer your phone.
On the washer?
Right on the washer.
Say, hi, Andrew.
Because that always happens. You know how long it takes me to load my washer with clothes? About 4 seconds. So the odds that they're doing this to all of their products. They're bespoke. And now I will say, the washer dryer combo, although it's very expensive, $3,300.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot.
It's a washer dryer combo in one unit. It is ventless. So you can
I heard that doesn't really work very well.
They claim you can wash and dry your clothes in 1 hour and 39 minutes. And I went on TikTok and I threw in the Bespoke AI product line, and people have purchased it and reviewed it. All got positive reviews. And these aren't paid sponsors. These are just people on TikTok posting videos of how cool it is. I've always thought it would be cool to have it all in one unit. It preloads 146 loads of laundry detergent. So you don't even have to do that yourself. And it squirts it out all at the same time.
See, you know what? I just bought Ian a new washer and dryer.
Okay.
And I told him to look at to see if there was one that actually did both.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that I didn't know about this.
Because you would have bought it?
Well, because I think it was out the door. I think it was $1,200.
Yeah, you would have spent way more for this thing. But they also have a new stick vacuum that will connect to your phone, and it will connect to your doorbell cam.
So if you're vacuuming?
And the phone rings. Right there, you can answer it. Here's the thing, though.
What was that you just did? Oh my gosh.
That was me talking over a vacuum cleaner.
I got it.
Here's the thing that I don't know of a lot of people, because when you think of these products, you're like, oh, that's cool, that's neat. When your vacuum cleaner connects to your phone, and when your washer and dryer connect to your phone's going to take all your information. And that's why they're doing this. So they get access to all your texts, access to all your photos, access to all your video, your location, everything.
Yes.
That's where the money is for these companies.
The data.
We've talked about it with the television company Vizio that Walmart purchased. And we were like, why is Walmart buying a TV? Well, because Vizio makes more money on data than they do on selling TVs. They should just give TVs away. Just sit them on the corner. Go ahead and pick one up, because the value is the data that you put in there. And that's what Samsung is doing with this line of products. They're calling it bespoke and making it sound with AI in the future.
Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Yes.
The truth is they want your data every single way they can get it.
I have some vacuum jokes.
I hope they don't suck.
They don't suck. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now there's 3.
Jokes are so great when you say, I have jokes for you. Are you ready? That's just my favorite. I went and saw a stand-up comedian, and he was like, hey, laughter is abound. Are you ready for my jokes?
I should use that line. That would be better. Be so good. Okay, when you clean a vacuum cleaner, you become a vacuum cleaner. So if I show someone a shower, do I become a shower? A shower.
I thought you said you had jokes.
Okay, here again.
You want to try that one again?
No.
All right.
I finally decided to sell my vacuum cleaner.
Did you now?
It was just gathering dust.
Stupid, so dumb.
Okay.
And your playful little delivery. It was just gathering dust.
Okay. Here, I got a third one.
Wow, you're overachiever this week.
This might just bring him home. Okay. A witch was flying on her broom when she noticed that all the witches she passed were flying on vacuum cleaners.
That's it? Okay.
She thought to herself, I feel so
Oh, my word.
All right, let me do it again. Don't look at me.
Okay.
A witch was flying on her broom when she
Right.
noticed that all the witches she passed were flying on vacuum cleaners.
Uh-huh.
She thought to herself, am I the only one who still drives a stick?
You were laughing that hard to that?
Yes, I thought it was so funny.
Oh my goodness. Move on.
All right, April Fools.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
Here are some things that you can do tech-wise.
Now, are you a prank? Hold on. Are you a prankster? Do you
Oh.
prank your husband?
Of course.
Do you wait for April 1st, or is this just
I
every Tuesday?
No, it's anytime you turn around. I prank him.
Do you like the pranks that are meaner? Like, do you really want to get someone and be mean? Or
No, I just like to make him look like a fool.
oh, okay.
You know.
Because I've done one prank in my entire life, and I felt horrible after it, and so I just stopped doing them.
What'd you do?
Cotton balls. I did chocolate-covered cotton balls, and then put them in the studio. And
And then
people came in, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I'll take a chocolate," and they bit into it, and there was a cotton ball.
Yeah, no, I don't do those.
Yeah, that's the only one I
I do
did. I just don't like it.
I do things like he was Barry was showing someone how Alexa works.
Okay.
And the spectrum of music, that no
Mhm.
matter what kind of music that you asked, that Alexa would play that music. And the guy who was at our house is a Broadway guy, likes Broadway show tunes. And he was complaining about how no matter where he goes online, he can't really find the unique show tunes that he
Okay.
likes to listen to. And so Barry was saying, like, no, you just have to ask Alexa and she'll play whatever you want. So I was around the corner hearing this whole conversation. So I was sitting in the living room and I opened up my phone and I had the Alexa app.
Mhm.
So when Barry said, play Oklahoma,
Right.
I hit like 2-pack.
2-pack.
So it was just like, and then Barry was like, well, no, maybe I didn't say it right. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So then he's like, Alexa,
Uh-huh.
play Oklahoma. Okay. And then I picked like, I don't know, like Neil Diamond,
Right.
Sweet Caroline.
Something not Oklahoma.
Yeah. Okay. And then Barry's like, oh, God damn it. Let me try one more time. So then he does it with that. And then I did like the Bee Gees, like Staying Alive.
Right.
Just,
And did he yell for you to come fix it?
no, I was laughing so hard.
Ah, you gave yourself away.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Tupac.
Tupac.
Well,
obviously I don't listen to him.
we can fix that in post.
2-pack.
2-pack shaker. Is that rapper? 2-pack shaker.
You know what? I'm not a rap girl. I don't listen to rap. I don't understand it.
Okay, that's fine, but it's Tupac Shakur.
Okay.
Or don't make the reference.
Okay, he probably doesn't even know how to say my name.
He's dead.
Okay. Well, I was a fan until he died.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, then, speaking of Alexa, what you can do too, I've also done this to Barry, is that you can program it through, you go to blueprints.alexa.com and you can have it program anything. And so like when he says, hey, Alexa, what's the weather like in Santa Barbara? And then Alexa I have Alexa say to him, look out the window, you dope.
So it can override a standard
Yes.
command that you would give Alexa?
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities with
Yes.
that.
You should do this with your kids. I did this with Ian. Is that you ask like who's the best dad in the world?
Oh, okay.
And then like so when Ian says like who's the best mother in the world, he knows it now because he's done it.
Right.
But I have programmed Alexa to say, let me look far and wide. Let me, and go through this whole thing. Like
Right.
I would say Mother Teresa, but I think the best mother in the world, hands down, is Kim Commando.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so you could do that. Like say, who's the best? Just say, But they have to ask it precisely the way that you phrase the question.
In the blueprint.
Yes.
Okay.
They have to say, like, so who's the best dad in the world? You
Gotcha.
should do that. That'd be funny. You can switch characters on their keyboards.
Oh, that's mean.
That is mean. Use power tools or carabiner elements.
I would go crazy if someone did that. I would literally break the keyboard.
I mean, if they press an E.
And it's a W every time.
I've thought about doing this to Barry.
Especially because Barry goes to www when he does his websites.
I mean, but I think this might put him over the edge.
He would disconnect the key. He would go buy a new keyboard that minute.
Yes,
he would get in the car. What are you doing, Barry? My keyboard's broken. All these are W's.
He would. Then I'd hear like, I gotta have a cam. Let's see. You can also set the desktop as the wallpaper.
Oh, I've seen this one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty. So what you do is you just do a Windows print screen, then you save it to screenshots.
And then you hide all the icons on the desktop so that when someone goes and clicks on an icon, it's not there because it's just a picture, which is the background of the desktop.
Exactly. And then also there's the End Cage Plus extension for Chrome.
Wow. Now we're getting technical.
It is very technical. What it does is it replaces all the pictures on the internet with pictures of Nicolas Cage.
So how does it even do that? That's amazing.
But wouldn't that be so fun? It's
so
like,
great.
No matter where you go, it's like, wait. Nicolas Cage.
And it's replacing them. So the description, like if you went to Google's images, the description below would say a cat sitting on a fence, and it's just Nicolas Cage. That is so funny.
It is. Do you know why everybody's so tired on April 1st?
I don't know why everyone's so tired on it.
Because it's the end of a 31-day march.
Oh, gosh, that's hilarious.
People love my jokes.
I know. And those people are great, and we appreciate them for downloading the current newsletter. Not going to say anything bad.
It. You don't
or
download
receive it on email, whatever.
Download Tupac.
All right, now we can talk about AI. First of all, I read an article, right? And the main gist of the article was that DeepSeek has passed for the first time ChatGPT.
I used it today, this morning.
Really? Mm-hmm. When it comes to new users per month for the month of February 2025. What I found very interesting. So my question is going to be for you, is ChatGPT in trouble? But as I was going through the article, there was a lot of interesting facts and stuff and information about AI chatbots. What do you think is the second most popular? Now, popular is a combination of rating by users and amount of users. And number two totally shocked me. So it's, if you're going to go with Claude or any of those, you're not going to get the right answer.
Perplexity?
No, not even in the top 10.
Really?
Yeah. And Apple, I don't know if Apple AI allows this analytics company to track them because they weren't on the top 100. Because I wanted to find where they were in 1 through 100 to laugh at them. And they're not even there. But I'm guessing that's because they don't allow it to be tracked.
Manus?
No.
What?
I'm telling you right now, I give you 99 guesses. You're not going to get it.
Okay, then just tell me.
Canva.
Canva?
Canva. The Canva image tool inside of their software is the number 2 rated, which is users, but it's still a ton of users, like 789 million. I mean, it's a crazy amount.
Well, it is. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. It's excellent. And they don't charge you for it. You get X amount of free uses, free tickets, I think they're tickets, until you have to pay. And it's a lot of tickets. So that's why people are using it so often, because they don't have to pay for it. ChatGPT is number 1, DeepSeek now number 3 when it comes to the rating system. But they've passed ChatGPT. And so I'm asking you, last week, you talked about the fact that you're using DeepSeek more. And now, so is the rest of the globe.
Yes.
Is ChatGPT in trouble?
No.
Okay, why no? I mean, that was so nonchalant.
Well,
this is supposed to be a talk break. And you're like, no. All right, thanks for joining the current podcast. We appreciate it.
I don't think so. No, you don't know. I did that to Ian last week. He asked me a question, or he said something, and I said, no, it doesn't work like that. And he's like, what?
Can we please have a conversation?
No.
Don't have time.
No time.
So why no?
Well, first of all, when I went to DeepSeek this morning, it was all in Chinese. and
That's not good.
and I had to hit a button that in faint letters that said English, and then
Oh,
it
okay.
magically changed. But just a reminder that you can't put anything that you don't want the Chinese to get
Right.
into DeepSeek, and
But
definitely
that's not stopping people.
definitely don't want to put the app on your phone.
536 million new users in the month of February. That's not stopping people.
Well, here's what happened. So this morning I was wanting to verify the steps on a tip
Okay.
in the newsletter, and so I put it over ChatGPT, and I was using Chat Modal 4.5,
Mhm.
which is they say it's better for writing and research and all this other stuff. And I put it in, and it just you get like it looks like a heartbeat. It's a circle that's going like, and then it just didn't do anything.
Let me tell you I had the same problem this morning. Not when I went on the desktop, and this is like personal, no one's gonna care. I went on the desktop to use ChatGPT this morning, and it was in a what was the word that they used? Temporary chat.
Oh yes.
So it
yes.
had none of my
Right.
history. I'm like, that's weird. I'm logged in. It doesn't. So I go on my phone and I pull up the app, ask the same prompt, and it just sat there. And it took forever.
Yeah, so that's why and also I spent a lot of time with ChatGPT over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Just the two of us.
Okay.
Going through the newsletter, I was saying like, what can I be doing better?
Mm-hmm.
And here are 3 samples so I got to work today and I'm like, do you remember? I said, do you still have the 3 examples that I gave you yesterday? It's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm
Is that
like,
the voice? Is that ChatGPT's voice?
That's what,
I don't know.
ChatGPT thinks it's a white male with brown hair.
That makes sense. It was probably made by a bunch of brown-haired white guys.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, but now you're telling me all these negatives, but your answer 35 seconds ago was ChatGPT is not in trouble.
Well, because ChatGPT, I think, for me, is it seems to get me better than DeepSeek.
Okay.
Meaning, ChatGPT will, if I ask it to write a tip up, or to write an email, or to write a reply, it kind of gets who I am.
But that's because you've been using it for years now. DeepSeek's only 3 months old.
I don't know if the Chinese get me.
Okay.
I mean,
Do you think they don't get Western culture? You think that but isn't the design of an AI chatbot that's going to scrape all of the internet? It's going to scrape all the internet in Western countries and Eastern countries.
I just feel with DeepSeek that I'm getting more, it's either black or white.
Okay.
Versus more of a conversation that I can have with ChatGPT, and also looking at marketing strategies, because we're also starting a company,
Mm-hmm.
coming up with business plans. I find ChatGPT to be better at that for me.
And we know too, tech companies love to play on emotion, and that's probably why ChatGPT seems more friendly. Is what
That's
I'm hearing
true.
from you.
Yes.
There's emotion based, and not just here. No, like you said 5 seconds ago. No, I'm done. That's my answer. Then that's going to relate more to people. They'll connect more to it and stay with it.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So as I was leaving this morning, Barry says to me, there's a whole bunch of stuff on the internet about Siri that she seems to be getting worse than better with time.
Okay.
And people are complaining that where Siri is saying, I can't help you with that.
Yeah.
I don't know that it seems to be popping up more often. And Barry said, are you finding that? And I said, no.
No.
I said, but what I think people are complaining about is that we've been exposed to ChatGPT and DeepSeek, and now suddenly we're looking at Siri saying, like, Siri's a dope.
Right.
I mean,
I absolutely agree with that. I only use Siri for communicating, making phone calls, sending text messages, sending emails. I don't use it for information because of exactly what you said. Where my other options are much better, and I'll move away from just the voice activation to use them because they're better.
And I don't know what's going on. There's something going on.
What do you mean?
Because yesterday I was in full conversation with my sister, and my phone just restarted. Like, just did a whole restart.
Were you on your walk?
No.
Oh, because you normally call her when you're on a walk,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I called her on the walk, and then
Okay.
when I wanted to finish up, I was in the car.
Sure.
And it just restarted. And that's not the first time it's happened. Over the last couple of days, it just randomly restarts.
So you're in one podcast, you're killing Apple and Google.
Yes.
In one, that's it. That's the headline. You know how we do the clickbait on the headline? Apple and Google are both dead, Kim Commando.
I don't think Apple's dead.
That's what I heard from you. Your phone died one time, so it's company's worth nothing.
I don't think so.
It's clickbait, though. Just run with it.
All right.
Thank you.
Apple and Google's dead.
Thank you. See, she said it.
Yep. Want a joke?
No.
Nope.
But you're going to give me one
I don't
anyway.
have one.
You're out?
I'm out of jokes.
This podcast is ruined.
Good boy.
Did you want to talk about that?
All right, real quick.
Real quick. All right, let me pull up the message. Hold on.
I read every single note that
Correct.
you guys and gals send me. Every single note.
And so we got one from Mike.
In Phoenix, right?
Mesa. But yeah, the Valley, Phoenix. Hey, Kim, I told my dad about your producer's son who keeps saying, good boy. We had a story on the radio show on Friday.
Yeah.
Which airs on the weekends. And it was about something that stupid kids are doing. And it triggered a memory that my son has a new slang. And it's good boy. And you're supposed to say it like that. You got to say it like that.
Wait, let me do it. Good boy.
Very good. It's kind of like Bob Dylan.
Oh.
If Bob Dylan was an annoying 11-year-old.
I hate Bob Dylan.
it's no one. But like, my son is doing it so often that it's driving. Like I brought him dinner Wednesday night. I sat dinner down in front of him. I said, you got to make sure you eat your protein before anything else. Good boy. I almost struck him. That's how much I don't like good boy. So I was asking you for advice. But Mike says his situation is even worse because he told his 89-year-old father about the good boy slang as a joke. And now his 89-year-old father won't stop saying good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy. When I was a kid, all boys were good. Good boy.
Thanks for your note, Mike.
That's worse than an 11-year-old having an 89-year-old changing his diaper. Good boy. Thanks.
Hey, Mike, if you're listening, send us a recording.
Yeah, that's true. Video. We've got to see this.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, remember the internet's good old days? When it was a place where you could be free. Unfortunately, now we go online knowing we are being tracked. Our internet providers can see our entire browsing history. And here in the United States, they're legally allowed to sell it. That's why I use ExpressVPN. It's a virtual private network that reroutes 100% of my online activity through secure, encrypted servers, shielding it from prying eyes of my ISP and other third parties. It hides my IP address, the number identifying me online, so I can't be tracked. My online history is actually mine again. It's so easy to use that your entire family can figure it out with just one tap. ExpressVPN works on all your devices, up to 8 devices at once. Let's return to the good old days of online privacy and freedom. Get up to 4 extra months of ExpressVPN for free at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim.
I want you to name 5 things that are for sale online right now. Okay, just 5 things. Okay, here's one that I bet is not on your list. Trees, right? I mean, have you ever thought about a company that is selling trees on the internet? And then you go pick out your trees, and then they figure out how to get you that tree based upon your zip code and also maybe even guarantee that that tree is going to live. Okay, that's an amazing concept when you think about it. I mean, what are the logistics that it takes to put together a website where you offer trees throughout the entire country, and then it's done by the season, and then you ship these trees to the people? I mean, gosh, if there's one business that I would not want to be in, is shipping trees. Okay, I mean, it's got to just be a nightmare, unless you're smart enough to figure it out. And joining us right now is Phil Mickelson. He's the CEO of fastgrowingtrees.com. Phil, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so, when I first became aware of your site, I'll tell you, I've been doing this a long time, as you know, but I had never thought of selling trees. When Ian came into my office, he's like, we have a great new client, fastgrowingtrees.com. I'm like, really? I mean, we hear about bark boxes and food and whatever it may be else that you can buy online. But I had never thought about buying a tree on the internet.
Yeah, we have trees that are 6, 7, 8 feet tall that we can get delivered to your doorstep. And we guarantee that they will arrive alive and that they will thrive.
And so, how did this all get started?
Yeah, it started back in 2003. Um, and there was a grower who had the idea that folks would want access to more variety of plants than they could find at their local Home Depot or garden center. And one of the amazing things about having a online website is that we can work with growers in 26 states so that if you're looking for a specific type of blueberry plant that thrives in the climate where you are, we can source that and get it to you. A local nursery has a much more limited selection, whereas we have 1,600 different types of plants that we're able to provide to folks.
Wow, that is something. It really is. I mean, I was astounded really by the variety because I typed in Santa Barbara zip code because I have a house there. Because I was thinking, like, what I really want is an avocado tree. Because here in Phoenix, there's no way, okay, that you'd ever be able to grow anything other than a cactus, okay? And that's about it. I know we all try to have the beautiful green lawns and the trees and all that other good stuff. And let me tell you, I'm raising my hand because I'm guilty of that too. But at the end of the day, aside from a mesquite tree, it does not really want to grow here in Arizona. And so you have, what did you say, 1,600 different varieties?
Yeah, yeah, and we think about all different types of areas where people want to do their growing. We have a bushel and berry plant. It's a very small plant that can grow on a patio or in New York City on a little veranda. We have plants that grow in a sunroom or greenhouse. Then we've got plants that grow outdoors. We've got avocado plants that work well in California, which would be a typical climate. Then we also have a cold hardy avocado plant that's able to grow in places that get a little bit cooler. We even have a cold hardy banana tree
Oh,
that can
really?
grow in Michigan. So we try to keep a lot of variety available for all different use cases and desires people have.
So now I also heard that you're the CEO of Live Auctioneers. Is that right?
I was up until about a year ago.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I will say that I have spent my career trying to help people buy things online that people thought you could never ship. So at Live Auctioneers, we were auctioning off art and antiques, and I also worked at First Dibs, which puts antique dealers online, whereas Live Auctioneers puts auction houses online. And we figure out ways to get the most unique things to people. And now I'm doing it for trees, which is super fun.
I mean, so like you couldn't pick like a subscription box thing.
No, no, no. That's way too easy to do. And in fact, that's what attracted a lot of the team to fast growing trees is the challenge of figuring it out. We partner with Clemson University
Mm.
and work with their kind of PhDs and researchers in biology and chemistry to plan how we're going to care for each one of these varieties in our facility before we ship it to you and make sure that we're boxing it thoughtfully with the right degree of moisture so that it gets to you safely. It's a fun challenge.
Okay, so you've sold a lot of things online. You set up a lot of businesses, and we have a large number of folks who are trying to figure out the same thing. Um, what do you think is the biggest mistake that online sellers make?
I think that the biggest mistake is probably not talking to customers enough. It's very easy to get carried away looking at what you like about your product. And so one of the things I work on with my team is really getting the voice of the customer throughout our experience. And so the varieties of plants that we carry is due to that research with customers, trying to understand what it is that they're looking for. And we look at customer data, we look at what people are searching for on our storefront that we don't have. We try to survey people as they're on their way off our storefront. We survey them after they buy. We're just regularly trying to make sure that we're making the best decisions based on our understanding of what customers want. We recently noticed that customers were buying in larger quantities. There are folks who are like, I don't want to see my neighbors. I want a wall of trees outside my window.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that too. Okay. Yeah.
And so we kind of noticed that behavior, and we're like, okay, how do we lean into this? Let's create packs of trees that can be bought in a bundle and solve that problem more quickly, and encourages people to think about buying more at a time. And so it's just kind of, I really encourage folks to really talk to their customers and prospective customers as much as possible.
Well, you mentioned something, the data, is to let the data speak to you because so many folks in a high level position or in a marketing position, they have a propensity to think what the customer wants, or they'll say, this is what my gut says. Okay, well, your gut could be wrong. Okay, and so when you start looking at the data, and now a lot of sites are suffering, quite frankly, because of ChatGPT, right? And your SEO and Google searches, they may not necessarily be driving the traffic that you used to get. So how do you pivot in order to maintain that market leadership when the traffic that has been so bestowed upon you by Google all these years is now suddenly drying up?
Yeah, we have definitely thought a lot about how do we navigate the rise of AI and ChatGPT. And then I'd say overall, as a business strategist, I think a lot about making sure that I'm not reliant upon one channel or by kind of one supplier for my business. And so we make sure that we are marketing through multiple channels. And we do marketing not just on kind of Google, but we are also on Facebook, and we are on podcasts, and we are using email and other channels. So one thing I'd say is that just not putting all your eggs in one basket. Another piece is thinking about where is AI going? Like, what is AI going to use to make its recommendations to folks? And so we are investing a lot in making sure we have happy customers. On our executive dashboard, we have our reviews, and basically how many reviews did we get for customers and how many were 5-star reviews. And so we believe that ChatGPT is going to look at the data that's available and make a recommendation on where to buy plants at the place that has the most 5-star reviews. So all the things that you would do to build a great trusted brand, I think will pay dividends, not just on SEO, but also for ChatGPT searches.
Yeah, and see, and I think that's what a lot of people are trying to figure out, myself included. You know, how do you become the recommendation from the likes of ChatGPT or even DeepSeek? I know it's China, but it's I don't know if you saw this, Phil, but I was reading something this morning that more people are using DeepSeek than ChatGPT, and if you try to find the ChatGPT app in the Apple App Store, have you tried to do that? It is
I
it's crazy. I mean, it's that there's probably, I don't know, at least 50 different variations of ChatGPT. That's not ChatGPT. It's like, okay, I just want the one from OpenAI. That's all I want. Just that one. That's the one I want. But anyway, I digress. And so, keeping in touch with the customer, looking at various avenues to advertise, knowing your lifetime value of a customer. Can you talk to that just a little bit? Because I think that's a term that maybe a lot of people haven't thought of.
Yeah, absolutely. And that guides a lot of our marketing spend is we're thinking about what is our cost to acquire a customer relative to the lifetime value of the customer. And you want your cost to acquire the customer to be less than the lifetime value, of course.
Right.
In the lifetime value, there's some ways you can make some mistakes. And so you might want to avoid just looking at revenue from the customer's value. You actually need to subtract out your cost to support the customer to get to the actual value. Another mistake folks might make is they look at the value of the customer over a 5-year period, but sometimes you need the cash right away. So you might want to use a short time frame for calculating the value of your customer and then comparing that to your cost to acquire a customer. So that's a calculation to look at. And then we think a lot about how do we leverage what we know about customers to increase lifetime value. One thing we're working on now is extending our warranty. So we guarantee that the plant will arrive and thrive. And we're thinking about how could we extend that? What if we offered a 2-year warranty, a 3-year warranty? Could we help our customers kind of de-risk their purchase? But also we can expand the value of the customer to us as we are kind of making sure that offering is profitable for us. But for folks who are putting up 20 trees, to have the security that their trees are
That's
backed
big.
by fast growing trees for years provides a lot of calm and is worth paying for.
No,
And then
that's
we think
big.
about how do we improve value by also better educating folks on how to care for their trees once they've got them. So we've been investing a lot in personalization so that you know when to trim the apple tree or when to harvest the blueberries. Although that one's pretty obvious, hopefully. But
Well, you know what? You may say it's obvious, but I have an apple tree in my yard that's kind of down the hill, and I forget about it.
right.
And a friend of mine came over, and she's like, "So how are the apples?" And I'm like, "You know, what? I just don't know. I just haven't looked." And she went down and she came back with 2 bags full of apples and said she was going to make an apple pie. And here are some other. And I'm like, that's great. So, reminders that the tree is there. And I know I sound like a ditz, but this is a part-time house that the apple trees around the corner and it's not in my line of sight. And I'm just really busy. I am.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have a lot going on, Kim. I understand.
Thank you. Because it's like, just sitting there like, okay, God, there's people listening like, oh my gosh, she doesn't even know she has an apple tree in her yard. I mean, come on. But I think, the reminders and being able to keep in touch with that customer to say, if you bought this, you might like this. And having that guarantee. Because, you go to the Home Depot, you're not getting any guarantee. And plus, you got to haul that thing into a truck and your car, figure out how to do that, and then haul it over your house and carry it back and forth. I mean, who the heck wants to do that? And I think, and that was where I was pleasantly surprised, because I will tell you again, when they came and said fast growing trees, and I was like, oh man, I mean, how is this going to work? But it was really simple to use. As a first-time user buyer, being able to say this is what's in your particular zip code, and so I was buying an avocado tree that I knew that would be good in my climate, as far as with Santa Barbara, a lot of fog, and I really wanted an avocado tree because underneath my property is 80 acres. And it used to be an avocado farm. And so I was like, okay, so this is going to be like a no-brainer. And so it really makes it so much easier and more pleasant, because this is your environment and this is what you want to look at. And, whether it's making sure that you don't see your neighbors, or if you have a rental property, I imagine that you have a lot of folks with Airbnbs and the sort, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We do provide solutions and actually some consulting. You can get on our website. We have a chat box, and we also offer Zoom consultations. And particularly for Airbnb owners or landlords, your curb appeal can be improved by having flowering trees. Um, and also having fresh bushes can kind of make an older house look younger and new again. So it is really useful. And we work with a lot of property developers who want to have the same look at multiple properties.
Oh, that's
And
true.
so it's easier for them to order online. And one of the great things about ordering online is you know what we've got in stock, and it's actually pretty consistent. Whereas the local garden center or Home Depot is very inconsistent. And you might drive there and then they don't have the thing that you want. So we're able to provide that consistency of product and the guarantee along with it. So it's great for homeowners looking to increase property value or attract a renter.
Or yeah, or also the quality too. I mean, last time I was at Home Depot, it was sad. It
Yeah,
was just like, what's going on here?
the plant had been sitting in the parking lot getting
Exactly.
baked.
Yeah. And I feel sorry for the plant. I almost want to buy it and bring it home, just because it's like, come on, come with me. And this is why I could never. This is why I just can't go see like puppies, because I would just bring them all home. I mean, I just got a brand new golden retriever, and 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 it was like, so maybe should I take like all of them? No, just one, just one. So, but
Yeah.
so tell me something. I'm just curious. What has been like the largest order that you've had?
We have orders in the tens of thousands of dollars. Um, And yeah, they'll typically be doing a mix of privacy work. And so they want to line a large area with trees. Maybe it's to block a fence that they don't think is that attractive. And then they're also doing typically some kind of curb appeal work. So in front of the privacy wall, they'll put some smaller bushes and then something flowering. And you can have a plan where you have a plant flowering kind of every month of the spring,
Oh,
summer, and
so it's
fall.
lovely. That's great.
Yeah. We've seen some really, we help people with some really clever ideas.
I like the idea of the Zoom consultation. How does that work?
Yeah, you can go to Fast Growing Trees and just sign up for it. Sometimes we ask for a deposit that's good for a gift card to the site, so you can then put the money towards the plants. And you meet with one of our plant experts, so someone who's been trained in yard design, and they can help you think about how to make the most of your space, and help you think through whether you are trying to have an area for the kids to play. And so you want to think about what tree is going to provide a bunch of shade. Or maybe you're looking to have that orchard at home. You want that avocado tree, you want the apple tree. Meyer lemon tree is very popular, and
Oh
some of
yeah,
the berries.
I have one of those. That's fabulous. I love that.
Yeah. Um, and it's like instead of running out to the store, you can just run to your backyard for that one lemon that you need sometimes.
You know,
And so we help you.
so there's a study that I don't know if maybe you guys can use this in your marketing. I actually wrote about it, and it was in our newsletter today. That they did some research because kids' vision, because they're growing up basically on a screen, is that they're becoming nearsighted. And the stats are crazy, like 83%. So they decided, let's try an experiment. So instead of a traditional classroom where you'd have the letters and the numbers and the blackboard and the Chromebooks and things like that, is that why don't we replace all the blackboards and everything on the walls with wallpapered trees? So it's all green, and then on the ceiling, we're going to simulate a sky. And they found, this is crazy, they found like it decreased the nearsightedness by like 60% by giving trees in front of the kids as they're developing, even though they're on screens. But I just was astounded by that how much we take for granted going outside and seeing a tree and being able to experience that, not realizing that it actually influences the development of our eyesight. Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's fascinating. There are so many benefits to getting outside, whether learning about what helps encourage better sleep at night. Actually, it's getting outside and getting some vitamin D early in the day, and getting your eye exposed to the sunlight. The morning sunlight helps your body kind of wake up more. And then if you again are out in the late afternoon and you get some of that kind of late day sunlight, you'll sleep better at night. And so I think about that. If you have this healthy hobby of caring for some fruit plants, it gets you outside and it will actually provide so many benefits. Also, we provide typically younger trees, so they're going to do a lot of growing. That's how we got the name Fast Growing Trees. And these younger trees are the ones that capture carbon. As a tree is growing quickly, it is removing carbon from the air and helping with global warming. So there's just so many different benefits, whether it's on an individual or societal basis, to getting involved with this kind of fun, healthy hobby.
Well, congratulations on figuring out how to ship trees. That is something. And you are a sponsor of our show, and thank you so much for that and for our podcast. I really appreciate that. And I believe that we're running a special. You have like 50% off, and then there's an additional discount for anybody who uses promo code Kim. And I'll tell you, folks, it is something. And maybe you're like me, you never thought about actually buying a tree online. I mean, of course, we've always sent flowers, not a problem. We've sent a plant, but you will be amazed at how easy it is for you to pick the right plant for your environment, and that it's going to grow and it's going to thrive, and it's going to be delivered to your front door. Okay, and that was the big deal with me, because we all maybe want to call a landscaper because this is the way we don't have to deal with it, and I get that, but you can actually kind of feel empowered that you were able to select, whether it's a Meyer lemon tree, as you mentioned, or an avocado or an apple tree, or you're tired of looking at the neighbors. Get that, okay? And they're tired of probably looking at you too. So, okay. So, but you really want to make sure that you check it out, especially because it's springtime and you want to be able to plant, and then I love the idea, Phil, of having different flowers for different periods, a different couple of weeks, because I'll tell you, I'm good at a lot of things, but this whole green thumb thing and planting is just beyond me. I haven't been able to ever master that art. I just haven't.
Our team is there to help you, Kim. You can chat with us anytime.
Okay. You'll be like the people in customer service, like, can you make her go away? She keeps, she's all of a sudden she's developed. She's like into it. No, really. Thank you again for being here. If you're ever in Phoenix, love to meet you in person, give you a tour of our studios and good stuff like that. And again, for everybody who's watching or listening, again, it's fastgrowingtrees.com. And what is the guarantee, Phil?
We guarantee that your plant will arrive and thrive. So it'll survive the shipping, it'll be ready to root and grow and be super happy. We offer often a 60 or 1 year guarantee, 60 day or 1 year, depending on the plant.
Yeah, see, it's fabulous. I mean, you're going to get that at Home Depot. Plus, you got to cart the thing back if it dies, okay? No, not at all. Fastgrowingtrees.com. Make sure you use promo code Kim. Phil, again, thank you so much for being here.